It is sometimes inconvenient to extend the thread class to create a class that can be run as a thread. You may have some other class you would like to extend, and in Java you're only allowed one. To solve this problem, you can create a class that can be run as a thread by implementing the Runnable interface. One common reason for creating a thread is for animation. To create animated motion that is smooth and doesn't interfere with the rest of the program, it's necessary to build it with its own timing loop running in its own thread. Now don't worry too much about all this graphics display stuff. It isn't on the exam, but I needed something that would display a runnable thread. This program displays a top-level window and inserts a canvas object into that window. The canvas object is animated by having a bouncing ball come from the top and bounce out of the window to one side or the other. When the ball vanishes, it reappears randomly and does it again. Now, the class with the main method extends the JFrame class, which is a top-level window. In its constructor, a new bounce canvas object is created and added to the display. The bounce canvas object is the one that's animated, so once it's made visible, a call is made to its start method to get the animation going. The bounce canvas class extends the canvas class, so it is also a canvas object, which is a blank component that allows drawing and painting. But the important thing for our purpose is here, the fact that it implements the Runnable interface. The constructor sets some general stuff. It is the start method that cranks up the thread and gets the animation going. There's a reference to a thread object named looper. If the looper reference is null, it means that there is no thread and one should be constructed. So if one needs to be constructed, the running flag is set to true and a thread object is constructed. Notice the argument on the constructor of the thread object. It's a reference to the current object. As it happens, the current object is a runnable object and can be run as a thread. Now, since this object is the one used as the argument in the constructor, this is the object that will be run when this thread is started. Once the thread is constructed, its start method is called. Remember what the start method did in the previous lesson? Well, it does it again. It creates a new thread and returns immediately to its caller. The new thread calls the run method of the object that was specified on the constructor, and the animation is off and running. And here's the run method. The loop inside the run method will continue to run as long as the boolean named running is true. So all that has to happen to kill the thread is to set the boolean to false, and the run method will return and thus kill the thread. The sleep method is called here inside the loop to time the animation. This loop executes once every 50 milliseconds. Notice that inside this loop there is a call to the method named nextFrame. All it does is move the bouncing ball to its next position and then schedule the window for being redrawn. And the entire thing is in a try block because the sleep method requires that. Now there's quite a bit more to this class, but it all has to do with the details of drawing the animated window, and none of that is on the exam. I just wanted to show you how a runnable object is started and run. The run method is the only requirement of the Runnable interface. To create a runnable object, it is only necessary to implement the Runnable interface and then write a run method for it. The rest of the thread class and how it works is entirely up to you. Just remember that one crucial concept. As long as the run method stays in execution, the thread stays alive. Once the run method returns, the thread dies. Now, here's what the program looks like. Now, this animation is probably a little bit jerky, but that's not the program. That's because of the way it's recorded and played back. Once again, none of this graphic stuff is on the exam, but if you want to do some animated graphics, this program would be a good start. It's laid out in a standard sort of way that creates smooth animation.